Let's use an example. Let's create an imaginary person now with a real problem. Let's say Kingsley is a person and he's been struggling with making ends meet. If anybody's name is Kingsley, it's just by coincidence.
Yeah.
So Kingsley has been struggling and is tired and is listening to this information. And Kingsley's desire is to be an entrepreneur. Kingsley doesn't want to do 9 to 5 and wait for 30 days before salaries come and all of that. He's forced into that job because he doesn't know how to become an entrepreneur, right? Okay. Kingsley has a personality that is creating his current personal reality, which is the 9 to 5 job that he does not like. That personality is that if you ask him, when will you pay this bill? He'll say, at the end of the month. That is a thought pattern. So that is how he thinks. Kingsley does not have the ability to pay for anything on the fly because
That's right.
So you have to wait for the salary to come. That's a thought pattern. So it's possible that Kingsley will be stingy because there's no money. He has to think about tomorrow. If I give you this one, what will I eat tomorrow? You're laughing. Kingsley will be too frugal because there's no money. But Kingsley doesn't like to live like this. Kingsley wants a life of freedom, financial freedom.
Yeah, sure.
Do you understand? But he's stuck with a personality. Kingsley should start thinking differently. Begin to think like that version of yourself. The version of the self in Kingsley's mind is Kingsley wants to have a business that he doesn't have to wake up every morning and go to. He wants to own a product, have his clients, meet them online and things like that. That's the kind of life he wants. These are the thoughts that Kingsley has to work on.
Okay.
So Kingsley takes a paper and begins to write down, this is the way I'm going to be waking up every day. I don't have to wake up by 6 o'clock to rush to the office. I'll be waking up by 9. Kingsley begins to create this personality. I'm going to be thinking like this, and I'm going to be behaving like an entrepreneur. And I'm going to feel, what are the emotions that Kingsley has to be feeling? Kingsley will feel free, happy to be doing what he loves. So happiness, freedom, these are the emotions. And then actions, he has a business and he has clients that he talks to. Kingsley should begin to memorize these things in his mind. To replace, remember, every idea that is physical now starts where? In the mind, including Kingsley's future.
In his mind.
So Kingsley has to be aware that this is who I want to be, and this is, now begin to rehearse that person in his mind. If he starts to rehearse this person in his mind every day, on a moment-to-moment basis, and get used to this person, reconstruct yourself. And it's easier said than done, but do it over and over in your mind.
Over time.
Now, the act of doing this is going to create a different neurocircuitry. Your brain will begin to create and interweave a different neurocircuitry that will form a different image of Kingsley. Now, if you do it over and over again, neuroscience tells us that nerve cells that fire together wire together. So, as a matter of fact, if you continue doing it, you will notice that you will start behaving like that person. Just continue thinking about it. Just continue thinking about it. Just continue thinking about it. Don't worry what is happening in the physical world, but be so immersed, passionate about the person in your mind that you don't care about any other thing. It's going to take you a little time. Depending on how committed you are, you will arrive at that personality. Now, if you do it well, your brain will not see the difference between the thoughts you're thinking and the physical you as Kingsley. The next thing that happens is that you will begin to behave gradually like that person. That's why when you see a prince, for example, if you see a prince, something tells you that this person is from royalty. Even if he's not wearing a crown, you feel their ambience, you feel their energy. He's just walking, but because of his behavior, you're noticing this guy looks like a prince or a king. If you practice being somebody else in your mind alone, your brain will create a software that will start causing you to behave like that person. People who knew you before will start noticing, hey, this guy, something is changing about him. You're being given birth to. You're changing. Even in your current condition, and what I'm talking about can happen in weeks. Even in your current condition, you're still doing your 9 to 5 probably. You're still waiting for the salary. But something is changing in you that does not match that reality. Now, your boss might start seeing you as, because he will sense the energy. Oh, they get you now.
Something different.
This guy wants to take over this company.
My goodness.
You're not doing anything wrong. You're still doing your work happily and judiciously. But he's sensing that something is different with this guy. And you know, bosses and dog, they know these things. They will sense it in you. People will notice it that you've changed. Something unfortunate might happen that you will term it unfortunate. You may lose the job. If you lose the job, it's not a negative thing. It's a positive thing. Because you cannot be working a 9 to 5. Kingsley cannot be working a 9 to 5 and be an entrepreneur at the same time. Are you there?
Yes,
so some certain negative things might come into your path when you're seeking transformation. But it's not negative. It's part of the journey. Preparing you for who you have become. It will happen viscerally. The person will start, even the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they do things will start to change. Everything will start to change. That is how you will know that this person is changing. Then the third step is now the manifestation. Kingsley will begin to get opportunities, phone calls. Kingsley will run into a website, see a newspaper and read something and run into somebody anywhere that will call him. Or it can happen anyhow. But those opportunities will present exactly what Kingsley needs to become that ideal version of himself.
We wish we had to continue. Have some of you join us by SMS. Do you mind I read some of these?
Go ahead.
Thank you.